The alt-right is at it again. They've got another protest. Oh my God, is it gonna be massive people holding torches, violent action, something to be really concerned about? No, it's a bunch of clowns. They went to protest a Lenin statue in Seattle. So I'm gonna tell you where that statue is, and it's very relevant near the end of the story. So they go out there, and let's show you a picture. Wow. 7 whole people showed up. What did I tell you, man? If you just let them do their goofy stuff, only 7 people show up. So there was so much hype and publicity around Charlottesville that more people showed up. If you just let them gather the local clowns, it's always gonna be 7 people. So that's why, God bless the people who want to stand up against those fascists in Charlottesville. But just let them speak and do their stupid little chants and don't hype it up. So let me show you how sad this protest was. Watch this.
Oh, Marxism has got to go. Hey, hey. 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 Statue, hate 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 statue. Tear it down, tear it down, tear it down, tear it down, tear it down. Who's bistros? Our bistros. Who's bistros?
Our bistros.
Who's bistros?
Our bistros.
That is right. Thank you.
You can keep the bistro. I don't know what that was about. I assume they were chanting something else, but it sounded like, who's bistro? Our bistro. Man, these guys are weird. Okay, so I don't even want to know what they were chanting. They had a sign, Lenin is Hitler. So does that mean you like him? I'm not sure where you're going with that. Okay, so Gateway Pundit, which is a conservative blog, looked at that protest and said, amazing, that was amazing. Because they live in an alternate reality, so they're like, oh no, nailed it. Man, they shook Seattle. Okay, I can't help but read you a couple of snide tweets in response. Nate writes in, damn, if that crowd gets any bigger, it might be able to fill up a Dodge van. Mike writes in, the cool thing is if you guys go out to eat later, you don't need to worry about the automatic gratuity for larger parties. Dr. Geb Sorka writes in, biggest crowd since the inauguration. And Lee writes in, this is so sad, I've seen bigger crowds in an elevator. And then my favorite from Stefan Heck, you guys are close to being outnumbered by the statue. Okay, so is this a big problem in America, Lenin statues? Well, there are over 700 Confederate monuments across America. To the best of our knowledge, there's 1 Lenin statue. Okay, but hey, the people of Seattle and the government of Seattle, look at what they're sending with that statue, except for this. The statue, which is up for sale for $250,000, now sits on private property in Fremont. So it's not on public land. Do you believe in private property? Boy, that would be ironic if you didn't. So there's nothing we can do about it. Some guy owns it, it's on his property, and he actually wants to sell it. In fact, let's figure out where it came from. According to the Seattle Weekly, statue had originally been erected in Czechoslovakia during the Soviet era. After communism fell in that country, an English teacher from Washington found the statue in a junkyard and had it transported to the US. We have no idea what their intent was. We don't know, it was like, hey, cool, the Soviet Union fell down and this is a symbolism of it. I found this in a junkyard. Or Lenin rocks, you have no idea which one they meant. This is not a real problem in America. The Confederate monuments were put up to intimidate African Americans during Jim Crow era. This statue was not put up in Fremont to intimidate capitalists in Seattle. This is not, but this is exactly the disproportionality that the alt-right goes through all the time. Like, oh my God, you didn't say Merry Christmas to me, you said Happy Holidays. Oh my God, I'm so aggrieved. This is the real problem in America. No, you're inventing these problems, and you look like a total jackass doing it. By the way, you know what they do to this Lenin statue in Seattle? Every once in a while, they dress him up. During Pride Week, this is what they do to Lenin. You think Lenin's in favor of that? Does it look like they're being very reverential to Lenin? I'm pretty sure Lenin would not have agreed to that. Okay, there is no epidemic of Lenin monuments in America, and that's why only a bunch of clowns showed up to that. So yes, in Charlottesville, we had a major problem. Yes, online, these guys do wreak havoc in their stupid trolling ways. But overall, they are still a tiny, tiny minority in the country. Don't hype them up to what they are not. And Trump didn't win because of these guys. Yes, he is part of their base. But Trump largely won because people didn't want the establishment to win. Almost anyone else in that position who was running as a populist would have won. So don't overhype these guys and give them power they don't actually have. If you like this clip of the Young Turks, you know there's a whole live 2-hour show, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern every day, and you can download it or stream it and watch it without ads if you become a member. tytnetwork.com/join.